All right, there's a Pops. Yes, Pops Toberfest. I don't know. Is that a thing? Anyway, happy Death Day. Happy Death Day to you. Two films I have not seen. I had heard good things, thought they were pretty well received, gave it a little go, and we're going to talk about these films right now. All right, we'll meet Tree. She wakes up every day in this guy's dorm room and doesn't have memory of how she got there, what's going on. And it's sort of a Groundhog's Day meets Scream sort of thing with her reliving this exact same moment over and over again, each time after she gets killed. And the premise of the film is that she's going to have to obviously figure out who's killing her or figure out some sort of reason why all this is happening, and it will actually prevent the loop. And that's the premise of the movie. So from 2017, Happy Death Day has that typical 2017 stereotype that we're going with. I don't know exactly why this lasted as long as it did. It is the uber wench, unlikable, horrible human, mean female character. I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm supposed to be laughing. I think there are moments where Scott Lobdell's script is at least humorous and amusing. I don't know that I consider this a comedy or funny per se. Again, I'm having amusement at moments. This is a roommate, and the roommate is this happy-go-lucky. She's obviously a nursing student or works at a hospital. Gives her this cupcake. She's so witchy. The opening scene when she takes this thing and just throws it away. Like, so right out of the gate, I'm having a hard time sort of like even knowing why I care. The movie doesn't wrangle you in if you don't care about the characters that were embraced and kind of having to deal with. I think also the other thing that's kind of difficult is that the film is not as scary as the trailer promises. Like, you literally know she's going to come back, so the stakes are sort of removed. And what ends up happening is she ends up in these scenarios where, through process of elimination, other characters are getting knocked off, but not really, because there's a time loop. And that kind of like takes them off the board as being the actual killer or the one that she needs to point her finger at to solve the mystery. So the trailer does a good job of just like playing the loop for us. Like, we end up in the exact same shots that are kind of changing and twisting and turning. She's trying to figure things out. And just about as much time in the trailer is spent on it as in the movie. Like, it's literally a large portion of the film. And it is kind of a while before we get to something that's remotely interesting, where it starts to kind of twist and turn and we end up into something that we're actually going to kind of enjoy watching. The character that she kind of falls for is like the uber nerdy guy. So it's sort of that cliche. His name is Carter. And then there's like the typical sorority witch cheerleader named Danielle. This Tree is obviously such a horrible girl. She's also having an affair with a teacher. So he's cheating on his wife with her. A whole bunch of unlikable people. Now, all in all, I feel like the film is sort of like just, it never does any of those things to any extreme. It plays everything safe. It's a PG-13 film that's never really gory. It's never really that funny. It's never full of likable people. And I think for the most part, other than like having some sort of redemptive arc near the end of the film where she's starting to kind of piece things together and why she should matter, why things matter, she can just start being a good person. So she sort of like embraces the fact that all this is happening. Very much, again, this is all like Groundhog Day type stuff. And I think for the most part, it is a tolerable film, kind of midland for me. Then I went on to the sequel. So in the sequel, they start off by just having the other Asian kid, the kid that doesn't really matter in the first movie, being in the loop. The trailer just jumps right into like action and death and chaos and whatever, but that is not at all how this is. It all centers around this Asian kid. So the Asian kid is actually like a quantum physics student he basically has figured out this time loop thing, the quantum his machine. So there at least is a line in the movie that she doesn't feel quite so special because it just happens because of his stupid experiment gone awry. That said, the second movie does two things I just thought were absolutely horrible. One, it tries to pretend that all these little brainiac kids are doing all of this and that the evil school is going to rip the machine away or manipulate the machine, even though they can actually prove that something's actually happening. That notwithstanding, the worst part of the thing is that the solution is to have her learn as they're learning and then off herself through horrible means and memorizing formulas to assist them for the next time loop. So sort of like Loki season 2, it's like, well, if I just keep doing it wrong enough, I'll eventually figure out the correct solution. So for weeks, if not months, if not, I don't even think I know how many times she offs herself. I don't want to sit and watch a movie where that's what the film is centered on. I'm just sorry. Maybe that's for other people. That's what they wanted to see. I think that her character is also like thrust into all these like moral conundrums where the boyfriend Carter is actually with Danielle, the horrible cheerleader. She's the one having the affair. There's all sorts of dynamics with the other characters, but I got to be honest, it feels so played out, and that this science and the contrived nature of everything, it makes this sequel just nearly unbearable to handle. What the sequel does it do well is it actually feels like it's more intense, at least. Like it felt a lot more like a horror film. It felt a lot more scary for some folks. This is again her offing herself. Just don't care. But again, the uber nerdy type stuff, and they have the solution to everything. I just I don't know. I just didn't care for it. So all right. So all in all, where am I at? I think for the first movie, I'm going to give it sort of a 2.5 star film. If you're really into this kind of stuff, then I guess add a star accordingly. I don't find this. I think the first one would at least be okay to sit through again. I don't really have any desire to sit through the second one, so I'm going to go a star and a half out of five on the second one. I just found it just completely uninteresting. Even though the horror is better in the second one, I felt like the story is just so bad it drags it down, and I just no way I'm just going to want to sit through it all again. So all in all, didn't live up to sort of its reputation. I think there's been rumors that they're going to do another one. Is that true, you guys? You guys hit me up in the chat. You guys will let me know. I feel like it's just so played out. I thought that the twist of the film was going to be the fact that she was not going to be the main character. She's in the loop, but it's going to be the Asian kid in the loop. I thought maybe that was the twist for the sequel, but they immediately changed all that, and they're throwing her into different timelines and whatever, and just what a gobbledygook of a mess. So at least she wasn't as much of a witch in the sequel as she was in the first film. So kind of a overrated experience for me. I really expected more because of the reputation and some people who had said good things about it. I think I've even been kind of kind with my 2.5 out of five, but I feel like it's not the worst thing in the world, especially the latter half of that one. Anyway, that's my take on it. Love to hear from you guys. I am Pops.